Welcome. We're about to break down the huge topic of globalization and sustainability, giving you the core concepts you absolutely need to nail for your exam.
So, what's our game plan? We'll kick things off with the big sustainability challenge itself. Then, we'll dive into our impact, what's known as the Anthropocene. After that, we'll walk through a timeline of global action and unpack two really crucial modern ideas: Earth system governance and planetary justice.
All right, first up, the sustainability challenge. This whole thing really comes down to one fundamental tension. How can we keep growing and thriving as a global society without destroying the very planet that keeps us alive?
And right at the heart of that is this definition. You're going to want to remember this one. It's not just about being green. It's really a balancing act between what we need today and what people will need tomorrow. Think of it like a contract between generations. We use what we need, but we can't leave the future with nothing.
This really puts the core conflict into sharp focus, doesn't it? How does our global push for more economic growth fit with the fact that our planet has hard physical limits? Honestly, this single question is what drives pretty much every single debate on the topic.
Now, our impact has become so huge, so profound, that scientists have said we're in a whole new geological era, one defined by us. Welcome to the Anthropocene.
This term is so critical. It basically reframes humanity. We're not just passengers on Earth anymore. We are a geological force actively changing the planet's basic operating systems. We're talking about a scale of change previously only seen with things like ice ages or massive asteroid impacts.
And this quote just nails the scale of the problem. Scientists confirmed this over 2 decades ago, that we are now operating outside the safe, stable conditions that have supported human civilization for thousands of years.
So, faced with this new reality, what has the world actually tried to do about it? Well, this isn't a new problem, and there's a long history of attempts to solve it. Let's quickly trace the big moments in global environmental action.
What's really interesting here is watching how the world's focus changed. In the 70s, it was just about basic awareness, but by the 90s, we were talking about complex ideas like shared responsibility. You can literally see the world waking up to just how complicated this all is, decade by decade.
But, this whole history of mixed results showed us that traditional government, with each country doing its own thing, just isn't cutting it for a planetary scale problem. And that realization led to a key modern concept you'll definitely need for your exam: Earth system governance.
This table shows the shift perfectly. Earth system governance is all about moving away from those rigid government-only models. Instead, it's about flexible, cooperative networks that include everyone: corporations, activists, you name it. Because hey, climate change doesn't really care about national borders, does it? Okay, the essential thing to get here is that this framework argues that fancy new technology alone can't save us. No, it calls for deep, fundamental changes to our global economy and how we make decisions. It's about rewiring the entire system, not just upgrading the hardware.
So, if our governance has to change, it makes sense that our very idea of justice has to expand too. And that brings us to this really powerful concept: planetary justice.
This is a huge idea. Planetary justice forces us to completely rethink what fairness even means when the whole planet is changing. It asks those tough questions, like who bears the costs of environmental damage and who gets the benefits of development.
These 3 pillars? This is classic exam material. Why? Because they blow up our traditional idea of justice. It's not just about fairness for humans who are alive today. It's about fairness for future generations, for people on the other side of the world, and even for the other species that share this planet with us. Now, to help all of this sink in, just a reminder that you can find a full summary and some really helpful interactive practice exams over at gradeguru.nl. It's a great way to check that you've got these concepts down.
All right, let's lock in the absolute key takeaways for your exam. If you're going to walk away with just a few things, make it these.
Seriously, if you remember anything, remember these 4. They are the absolute building blocks for this entire topic. Know them, understand them, and you'll be in great shape.
And all of this leaves us with the big central question for the future, right? It's the one that ties everything we talked about together. It's definitely something worth mulling over as you keep studying.